Legend of Total War here, and today we've got another leak. I'm just kidding. It's a rating your Doomstack video, playing as Wissenland and Nuln, where we're covering a Hochland long rifle Doomstack that has ridiculous range. So it says 559 right now. It's obviously due to the traits of these heroes. But this guy also provides an additional 10% range, which will be applied when we get into the battle. So we might be able to shoot from one side of the map to the other. These guys here might not even get a chance to get properly set up because they've got reinforcements coming in. So going up against Ikit Claw, doesn't have a nuke, but he does have Menace Belows. We've got to be very careful about those, make sure the heroes sort them out, because a single Menace Below could wipe out a single unit of Hochland long rifles, because these guys are absolutely awful in melee. And this damage output from these guys here should be just obliterate them, but if they're getting close to us, we're absolutely screwed. So let's jump in here and see how it actually performs. It's all on the highest battle difficulty, which in terms of a missile-based army, doesn't actually matter what battle difficulty it is, because the enemy on maximum cheats gets no additional missile resistance. They'll get a little bit of extra leadership, so I guess they'll take a few extra shots. But they mainly get boosts in melee attack and melee defense, and weapon strength, which does not affect missile damage whatsoever. But of course, if they got in close to us, they will kill us a bit quicker. But typically speaking, this is what was the case with Warhammer 2. All of the cheats that the AI got were mostly melee, which is why myself and many other cheeses would just bypass the melee cheats by just recruiting missile units. Because melee attack and melee defense does nothing to missile damage. Okay, so I'd like to get set up over here, I think. We need to make sure they've got a good line of sight. Putting them at the bottom of the hill is about the dumbest thing that we can do. But whether we should put them on this side here or here. To put them here, I could probably start shooting right away. Yeah, look at that range, and it's going to get a little bit extra. Well within their deployment zone. But there's a few obstructions here and there, especially there. So I'm thinking over here might be better, but I'll have to move forward. Which costs us valuable seconds. Alright, well, there we go, we'll see. So we've got a light wizard here to use Net of Amantok if they decide to advance. I should say when they decide to advance. Move up to about there. Guard mode, let's get some control groups going. Probably should have done that already. All good, let's do that. And don't need to use a control group with some, but let's do it anyway. Alright, these guys here, just keep close to them and just wait for the Menace Belows to show up. And just charge right into them so you break them straight away. The first one shows up at 45 seconds, and then the next one should show up at about a minute 30, roughly. And because they've got reinforcements coming in, they're not advancing on us right away. This is definitely not the kind of army where you want to wait for the enemy reinforcements to get organized. You want to be shooting at them straight away. Okay, look at the range on that. I'm just going to let them fire at whatever. You need to move forward. And not specifically target stuff. Basically minimal sort of micro, just to show how good it actually is. Because at the moment they're shooting at terrible targets. Obviously, normally what you'd want to do is try to shoot at Ikit Claw, although single entities will possibly try to move out of the way a little bit. Okay, so that's the first one dealt with. A little bit annoying for this unit here. And then after we've gotten rid of the Menace Belows, we'll need to move way up. So that if these guys do start getting close, they pull around the enemy forces here. Around our heroes, rather than charge at them. So addition, massive damage. 585 range there. Okay, there's the next one. You guys need to move forward. Get away from that Menace Below. I'll tell you what though, this kind of army, you can get through battles pretty quickly, just because of the absolute damage that they're doing. Alright, that should be all we need to do with the Menace Belows. We'll pop down a few quick restocks, just because these guys don't have absolutely tons of ammo. That should do. But then we need to move these guys up, because they can shoot as well. And get ready to sort of slow them down. Same thing with the Light Wizard. God damn. Like, to put things in perspective, their Plague Claw catapults have 400 range. We got 50% more range than their actual artillery. The only unit I can think of that has more range than this is the cannon with the dig in ability from Malachi's faction. That's the only one I can think of. Okay, put them back on fire at will. God damn. Alright, they're probably going to start advancing soon. But because they've got artillery, maybe they'll want to try to shoot at us. I'm not sure. You guys stay there. The engineer heroes are really good against single entities. Yeah, look, they're already starting to shoot at our heroes. Now, the reason why they're going to use artillery to shoot at single entities is because these guys are missile units. They changed the AI up a little bit fairly recently, where they stopped ignoring single entities, especially if they are causing missile damage. So normally these units are super accurate, but just because of the time it takes for the bullets to arrive, it's actually pretty easy for the AI to dodge them, but you have to move in an erratic movement, which they're not really doing there. God damn. So to put things into perspective as well, where's the Jezzail unit? There's one. Warplock Jezzail's 308 range. We have nearly double the range of a Warplock Jezzail, which I think that unit has higher than normal base range. Probably going to army loss them in a moment. This is so strong. But the thing is, this is the very definition of a glass cannon army. Super high damage, but if anything got in close to them, they're just absolutely wrecking. Like, no armor, tiny little bit of missile resistance, terrible combat stats, low health. So a particularly fast army could be a big problem here. But in this situation, where the AI is just deciding to skirmish back, that's really dumb of them. If they wanted to have any chance of victory, they have to rush at us. Alright guys, I want you to focus fire on Ichor. I want to see if you can all just shoot at him and kill him in one shot. See, this is the problem. The bullets take so long to get here. Yeah, if he doesn't move, no problem. I've been protected by that. There we go, got him. Because yeah, you don't want Ichor getting close. See, this is another reason why I don't like to tell them what to shoot at, because once they've killed the unit, notice how they like have to recollect themselves, where normally they don't do that, they just keep shooting. So giving your missile units orders can actually make them less efficient. Obviously, if they're shooting at a bad target, you should tell them to shoot at something else. But typically speaking, putting them on fire at will is usually better. God damn. Well, they used up a lot of their ammo, but we still had plenty of restocks. And this one here being on the steam tank, there's definitely advantages and disadvantages for it. Lowers their speed, actually their speed's pretty good. It also helps with getting rid of menace blows, because these things cause fear. No, they cause terror, they don't cause fear. So that with a low morale unit, you can get off the battlefield really quickly, stop it from attacking your units. So this is a really good army. But I don't think anyone's particularly going to be too surprised by the results on this one. Now, in terms of rating this kind of army, we have to also keep in mind this was a pretty ideal map. So it's going to perform really well when they've got a good line of sight. But there are so many maps in this game with quote-unquote tree acne, quoting Zerkovich there, where there's just like little pockets of trees everywhere. And that's going to act as a shield for the enemy. Especially when you've got such long range. You want to be making use of as much of it as possible. Not just waiting until they get into like 200 range. That'd be really bad. And there's also a lot of maps with obstructions all over the place. Little hills and cliffs. And when enemy forces are going up and down through elevation, that makes it a lot more difficult for missile units to shoot them, because they don't predict where they're going to shoot very well in that situation. It would also be particularly bad in major settlement sieges, so walled cities, because you're not able to shoot over a wall. It would require you to demolish sections of the wall, which is something that the steam tank can definitely do. But even then, you really don't want these guys having to get up on the walls and shoot, because as soon as you put like a missile unit up on the walls, the most likely scenario is that the AI will put their units up on the walls to attack you as well. They're not just going to let you shoot. Not unless you really clear out the wall section using these guys here, at which point it just becomes a hero Doomstack rather than the Hochland long rifles. These guys are not good in a walled siege. Probably really good at defending a walled siege. Maybe. But yeah, attacking a walled siege, I think it would be a very difficult battle with these guys. And then it also depends on the enemy that you go up against. If you go up against Skaven and they've got the nuke, and they've got like 6 Menace Belows, that would be super annoying, because you'd have to constantly move your forces out of the way of the Menace Belows and the nukes. Single nuke could wipe out 1 or 2 of them very easily. If you go up against Slaanesh, they could advance on you really quickly. If you go up against like Eshin, or any like stalking units, you'd really need to spread your heroes quite wide to catch them while they're stalking. So things of that sort of just same thing if you go up against like Skarsnik with a stalking goblin army. But overall, super good damage output. In an ideal situation, it's basically a 10 out of 10. In a not ideal situation, it could easily drop down to like a 5 out of 10. If you got ambushed, let's just say if Tzeentch teleport stands on top of you, or this doesn't matter. Or, you know, Skaven ambush you, or the Beastmen ambush you. This is a terrible army for those situations. And most of the 10 out of 10 Doomstacks are basically ambush proof. Because they're usually like melee single entity monsters sort of things. Which just, you know, you ambush them and they're like, I'm only surrounded by weaklings and fools and dead men, whatever. Just wouldn't matter. But you know, if you're just a bit cautious with them, then you'll be fine. You know, you can prevent yourself from getting ambushed. But everybody gets ambushed every now and again. It happens. So yeah, in terms of rating it, very situational. And situational Doomstacks don't get 10 out of 10s. So I'd probably put this along the lines of an 8 out of 10. Because it's 10 out of 10 in the perfect situation, and then drops down to like 5 in a not ideal situation, and an absolute 0 in an ambush. If this gets ambushed, these guys will do absolutely nothing because the enemy is able to close in really quickly and basically eliminate them straight away. You just won't have enough time to pull them out. Not unless you go up against an ambush from the dwarfs and they don't have any slayers. So very situational with this, and like I said, that just doesn't qualify for 10 out of 10s. But yeah, really well built Doomstack, regardless. You just have to be careful with it. Hochland scopes, that's where you get the 15% range for gunnery infantry and gunnery cavalry. This guy would probably have it as well. Yep, Hochland scopes. Good. So they've got 42 ammunition. Adding more of these guys I don't think adds additional ammunition. They have triangulation, so that's why we had so much damage on each shot. But adding more of these guys isn't necessarily going to make them that much better, because these guys, like, let's just say they had like 6 or 7 or 800 range. You're then shooting so far that it's probably extending beyond the map. You just don't need that much range. I would say that at 600 range, that's good enough. Yeah, because like we were shooting from one side of the map to the other. So yeah, anyway, that's my rating for this one. I'm giving it an 8 out of 10. Situational Doomstack. There's absolutely nothing wrong with that. Not everything can get a 10 out of 10. Anyway, that's it for this one here, guys. Let me know in the comments below what you think of the Hochland Long Rifle Doomstack. I thought this was amazing. Very situational, though. Appreciate you. That's the end of this one. Thanks for sending this one in, and I'll see you next time. Later, guys.